re mama pa pa ni ni sa 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 ni da pa ma ga re ma pa pa mama pa ma pa da ni da pa ma ga re ga sa re ma pa mama pa ma pa sa ni da pa ma ga re ga sa ni sa re ma ga re ma pa ni da pa ma pa ni sa re ma ga re sa ni da pa ma ga re ma pa mama pa ma pa da ni da pa ma ga re ga sa re ma pa mama pa ma sa ni da pa ma ga re ga sa.
I know most of you have come to meet and greet Satyamurthy ji more than listening to me or anything. So, thank you Satyamurthy ji for taking time out to come all the way from Vijayawada, Hyderabad. And he has to go back to Vijayawada tomorrow because Honorable Prime Minister is going to Andhra Pradesh on Monday. So, Satyamurthy ji has to be there. And of course, thanks to Ratna Kumar ji, always whenever I come here, he doesn't give me a free meal. He makes sure that I do some hard work before I get a meal. So, no free lunches for us. Friends, thank you for coming out on a Saturday evening. And I heard that after a very long spell of intense heat, you had nice showers today. And you all must be thankful to Satyamurthy ji for bringing showers. And I hope when he goes back, he carries them to Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. They are boiling. Our home states are very hot now. What I will do is, as an author, it will be, we generally will be very enthusiastic to tell a lot about our book. But our publisher will be very unhappy if I say everything, because he won't then buy it. So I will just give a few outlines about what this book contains. It is about the country, namely Bharat, India, how it is transforming. It's a story of the transformation in a number of small essays. This is election time in our country, you all know that. You all must be following, because one very particular characteristic feature of Indian community, diaspora Indians, anywhere in the world. I mean, I get the opportunity to go to many countries and meet with many diaspora friends. One common feature is that bodily they will be in all over the world, but their hearts are in India. So elections happen in India, you feel as though elections are happening in Singapore. I have seen that experience in places like New York and Washington, and I was bored one time when I said something good about our Prime Minister. Because in Washington, obviously, you talk good about your leadership. But there were people from the party which is friendly with us today, but that time not very friendly with us. They started going, why are you praising Mr. Modi here? I said, not because he is BJP, but because he is the Prime Minister. So intensely we get involved in politics back home. Good, not so good also. Because you have to become more active in the public life of your host country. While home country should always be very dear to all of us, we should be more active in the public life of the host country. Nevertheless, when elections happen, a lot of cacophony you see. That cacophonous atmosphere is not the real representative reality of the country, please remember. What we hear, what we see at the time of elections is for the elections. It begins with the elections and ends with the elections. That's not the true reality of the country. That's not the reality of the country. So that discourse, keeping that aside, where a lot of tutu-maime happens on all sides, I would like to talk about the 7-8 years of the transformation in just 4 or 5 points, not very long. Firstly, what happened in the last few years is a political culture of accountability has been sought to be nurtured in our country. A big country, big democracy like India cannot survive without politics of accountability, unaccountable politics, where a politician can do anything and get away. And politicians are answerable or come before the people only at the time of elections. All the rest of the time, they are on their own, mauj masti kar rahe. That kind of politics is changing in our country today, which is a very good sign for our democracy. The result is more and more young and enthusiastic people are coming into the public life. If you see the Indian Parliament today, it has more than 50 or more than 55 youngsters. Youngsters by general standards. I mean, there are leaders in India at 55 also, they are young leaders only. I'm not talking about those leaders. General standard about 30, 35, 40 years age group. If you see, today we have a large number of them. A large number of educated people are coming into politics. You know, earlier educated people used to think that politics is all bad, we should stay away from it. That's no longer the case. Well-read, well-educated people are coming into the political life. So, basically, the politics of accountability is leading to a good, happy change in Indian political system. Today, parties have to do a lot of hard work to win the support of the masses. Even Prime Minister, even in spite of his ratings and all, popularity ratings and all, has to toil day in and day out to get the votes. You must be seeing him every day going to one state and doing 3 or 4 rallies. You have to do such a hard work to, at least aspire to get 400 seats. How many seats will come, we will see on 4th of June. But some aspiration. For that aspiration to be changed into reality, there is no automatic way. You have to toil, you have to work hard. If you don't work hard, after every 15 days, you need a 2-day break, holiday, go away to some other country, disappear and come back. You will end up in 50, 60 seats. Accountable politics is what people demand in our country today. So that is one very good change. If there is time for discussion, we can talk more about it. And, today's legal system, today's law and order system doesn't spare anybody. It's okay, there can be complaints why only some party people are being subjected to so much scrutiny. Why are they going to jail? Why are they being arrested? That can be a valid question for in some cases. Why not so and so? But at least leaders cannot get away giving extraneous reasons. Sometimes there is this discussion. How can you arrest so and so person just before election? This used to be the old politics. If I am a politician, I can't be arrested now. I will tell you when to arrest me. Does it happen that way? In America, can Donald Trump say that no court cases against me now, after the election we will see? Can he say that? But in India, we want leaders some leaders expect that no, we should not be touched now. We will be we can be arrested later. At least that doesn't, maybe tomorrow courts may intervene, courts may say anything else. But I'm saying there is that element of strong accountability. Please remember, today some may say that you are using agencies or this and that. No government will be there perpetually. This government may continue for many years to come. But then there will be states where there will be other government, they can also do this. That means every politician has to be very, very careful in India today. If you want to be a politician, you have to be careful. You will be subjected to intense scrutiny. So political accountability is one important change that is happening today. Secondly, there is a growing culture of economic transparency. Indian economy used to be plagued by problems like, we generally call as black money or, these tax havens. Then, a lot of corruption, evasion of taxes. I remember in 2014 when this government of Prime Minister Modi came to power, in a country of 125 or 130 crores, 1.2 to 1.25 billion at that time. अभी ये तो 1.4 billion हो गया इंडिया में. At that time, the tax-paying population was not even 4 crores, 3.5 crores. Tax-paying population. बाकी क्यों नहीं? Why are they not paying taxes? Are they not really earning money that is actually above the taxable level? No, they were earning, but they had ways to conceal it. The result was the government, people were rich, People were making money, economy was progressing, governments remained poor. Remember when you probably would have gone back to Vijayawada. Go to any road in Vijayawada. On both sides of the road, you would have two-story buildings, three-story buildings with 2 cars, 3 cars, imported cars, big cars, all standing. Look at the condition of the road. Houses belong to individuals, roads belong to government. Government were poor, people were doing well. Today at least, that kind of economic activity has been largely curtailed. If you're earning, you also have to share it with the people. GST collections this month have crossed 2 lakh crores for the first time. That means people are paying taxes. Unless we pay taxes, governments cannot deliver goods to the people. Our tax-paying population has today gone up about 10 crore. Does it mean that in the last 5 years, 7 crore people have become richer? No, actually most of them were rich before also. They were not paying taxes. Now, corruption levels have come down drastically. You have not seen any big corruption scandal in the last 10 years. The result is there is a growing faith in the economic system in the country. Income tax institutions like income tax department have become completely faceless. Everything was automated. So these measures have created a transparent economic situation in the country, another major transformation that has happened. Third, at the society level, there is a sense of stakeholdership in the society. Earlier, right from the time of independence, our leaders used to tell us, you are all citizens of this country. This country belongs to you. You are the citizens of the country. You have so many rights. Constitution gives you all these rights. So we were always told that we were as though the owners of the country. Say, a mindset has developed that we have certain rights. We enjoy those rights. There used to be this joke that when our workers in any factory, then they demonstrated for some wage increase or something. They used to have a placard. What? Raghupati Raghava Raja Ram, Pura Vetan Adha Kam. You have to make my job less, but pay me more. That used to be the mindset. Because, country is to be handled by governments, MLAs and MPs. My duty is to fight for my own rights and demands. From there, a very healthy change of, no, I'm not just a citizen, but I'm a stakeholder. Whatever good has to happen, I also have a role in that good of the country. That sense has increased in the country today. That is the reason why when I said today, direct taxes like income tax, etc. have gone up, or indirect taxes like GST, etc. have gone up. That is because people are willing to pay. People are ready to spend tax. And this government, Prime Minister Modi's initiative effort has been to make people the stakeholders. The Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, Cleaning India campaign was undertaken by people. He announced 10 as his Swachhata ambassadors. Those 10 announced another 10. That chain happened. So a major transformation in the thinking of the people also is visible today, a major transformation, social transformation of stakeholdership. Fourth, a new cultural behavior where people would be proud to wear their culture on their sleeves. No apology, no fear. We are a great Sanatani nation. To say that today, there is no inhibition, there is no hesitation today. That a cultural behavior of pride. Pride in our past, pride in our greatness. This is a major change that we witnessed today, we experienced today. I can just give you one latest example. This Ram Mandir, which was inaugurated 2 months ago, or rather 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago. There was a massive fund collection exercise that was undertaken for the construction of the temple.
16 crore people contributed. 16 crore. There was no incident or event in the entire history of the world, forget about India alone, where people in such large numbers had come forward to contribute to one national monument. 16 crore people. And the 16 crore included, of course, Bhakts of Ram Bhakts, but also people who believed in different other gods. Those who do not belong to the Vaishnavite tradition, to which, in Hinduism Ram belonged, they also contributed. People not Hindus, not Sanatanis, they also contributed. Lot of Muslims, lot of Christians contributed. People of all religions contributed. People who don't believe in religion contributed. So many communists have contributed.
Some of them said, okay, don't issue receipt in our name. But we want Ram Temple to come up. But when the Ram Temple came up, it came up not as something to showcase
Anybody. To say that somebody is bad, it is a reply to him. No, it's a monument of India's great cultural heritage. Thousands of years of great national heritage, that will be the Ram Temple. I always say this, when Ram returned from Lanka after defeating Ravana, when he came back and became king again, he did not talk about what all happened in the 14 years when he was in Vanvas. He did not start again criticizing Ravan and all his people. He instead said, now
duty is to build Ram Raj. How to build a government or a kingdom where justice prevailed, dharma prevailed. Dharma Raj have to make. So Ram Temple symbolized that spirit for us. That cultural pride I talked about is not about hating somebody, but about building a country which is, based on certain dharmic values. That kind of pride is the fourth thing that we witness. And finally, the fifth major transformation that we experience in our country is
what I call as strategic culture of autonomy. A country of Bharat's size used to act as a very reticent nation, punch very much below its weight in the past. But today, this new culture of autonomous thinking, autonomous action, has led to India's prestige going up in the world. We are behaving like a big nation, a strong nation. A new culture of strategic autonomy is visible, not just to us, to everybody, to our enemies who are on our borders, but also to the friends all over the world. They see our country differently today. Of course, China understood that it is no longer the India of 2010s and 2010s. It's a new India, which stands up not at the diplomatic level alone, but on the ground also. Today, when China moved 50,000 soldiers to annex our territory, we also moved 50,000 soldiers. When they moved tanks, we also moved tanks. When they brought aeroplanes, we also took aeroplanes there.
We are guarding every inch of the soil on the territory, on the ground also, when we are also talking to them at the diplomatic level. That is the new spirit of our country. We are standing up to pressures. We are standing up to pressures from the West. We are not becoming a party to any dispute, any conflict. Everybody says, Ukraine, how can you be out of it? You should come and stand by your friends like Western powers. We say, we stand by certain values. We don't want war. But we don't want to be a party to war also. This courage to stand as autonomous, strong power is what India is representing today. And when India stands up, dozens of other countries stand up. Because India took this autonomous stand on Ukraine war, 35 other countries at the UN stood up. They are not small countries. Indonesia stood up, Turkey stood up, UAE stood up. These are big countries and many other countries. So today we are creating a different kind of image for ourselves in terms of our strategic behavior also. We are showing that autonomous strategic culture. So this transformation is a very big transformation that's happening in our country. Its description can go on for hours and hours, but its impact can be felt by everybody, everywhere in the world. May end by telling you, or probably asking you, don't you feel proud Indians today and before? This is the feeling everywhere in the world. You know, passport is the same, but today it weighs more.
भारत माता की
It has more weightage today. If you are an Indian, you are respected more. And I have so much of experience, so
So I just want to end by just saying one thing. This transformation, we are all experiencing it directly by being a part of it. You are witnessing from outside. But both of us share only one sentiment, and that sentiment is there cannot be a better time to be an Indian than today. Thank you.
Sir, your presence and insights have indeed made this event a memorable one. On behalf of everyone present here, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to you for taking the time to share your thoughts and experiences with us. Thank you once again. Let's give him a round of big applause again, ladies and gentlemen. We had the privilege of hearing from our esteemed chief guest. Now it's time to invite another distinguished personality on the stage to share his thoughts on this remarkable book. May I kindly request our guest, Sri Satyamurthy ji, to share his insights.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I thank Sri Samskruthika Kalasaradhi, Mr. Ratnakumar and his friends for inviting me here and for giving me an opportunity to speak to you. But friends, don't worry. I'll tell you one good thing here for you. Because after leaving Singapore, in India, some people used to invite me for the functions. So in Hyderabad, Ravindra Bharati and all, every day, Chagraya Gansabha and all, there will be some functions. So one of my friends asked me, why they are inviting you frequently? I said, because I speak less. Because that is the secret actually, I told you. So that's why you don't have to worry. After hearing Ram Madhav ji on all these subjects, there is nothing much actually really to speak. But now, because it's a formality, so I always feel Singapore as my second home. Because whenever I come here, I feel fascinated and I see friends, with whom I have worked in many occasions, be it VSS or be it Gita Jayanti or even the Namo event, which we have successfully organized in 2015. So many of you are associated with that event, and so it's a pleasure for me again, to see you all here. And one more important thing I will tell you, because Ram Madhav ji, of course, so I am fortunate to associate with him for many years. In fact, for many years when I was young also. So his father and me, we were in the jail together. Of course, don't worry when I say jail, because during the emergency, we were in the same jail, in Rajahmundry Central Jail. So that is how actually I used to go to, his father was a great patriot, and actually they sacrificed their complete life. His both the parents, even his mother also, she used to be very active in social life. So that made Ram Madhav ji to work as a pracharak, join as a pracharak, and he has devoted his entire life for the society. Now, after seeing his knowledge and other things, I used to sometimes, because having associated with business people, I used to think, had he started any business, he would have been, in a different position. No, sir. Different, because his analysis or his knowledge and so many issues. See, now we are all talking about the artificial intelligence. 3-4 years back, his India Foundation has actually organized a conference on this metaverse. You know, there actually I have participated in that. I have seen, those things they demonstrated on the stage that day, which of course nowadays, we are seeing in artificial intelligence and all these things. So he started India Foundation. Of course, before that, when I was in Hyderabad, we worked together in Jagruti, a weekly. That time he started Prajna Bharati, a thinkers forum, and he used to invite, many people from all over India and organize so many good programs there. So that way, his contribution to the society. Now he is actually in the Indian Express. He is contributing every week, articles. Some of you can see that under the title Ramarajya. Of course, unfortunately, he is not. Fortunately, I will say unfortunately or fortunately, he is not active in the party which I belong to. But still, he is, working towards the Ramarajya, which is the need of the hour. Because now we got Ram temple. So what next is Ramarajya. So this is what we are all looking for, and I look forward to more and more contribution from Ram Madhav ji, because Kashmir integration and the abrogation of the Article 370, it all happened. Of course, the party will take the claim. My party will definitely take the claim, but he is the man behind that. Even the Northeast, now you see Northeast, how Northeast has actually transformed. So he has played a key role there. So for which the entire nation will definitely, vote him. So thank you so very much to everybody, and once again thanks to Mr. Ratnakumar and his friends.
Actually, Ram Madhav ji we were asking him to talk more about the book, but he said he wants to talk less and then leave the floor for question and answers basically. So we'll spend much more time on question and answers. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for coming here. My kids study in this school. The book is about narratives and perceptions. If you see, as we grow, more people around the world look at us, and then we see a lot of commentary in the Western press and think tanks. But to counter that, we don't have enough capacity. Do you think so? Like India Foundation, Vivekananda, or maybe ORF, they're very less. Is there any attempt, now that we have resources and all kinds of resources that are there, because you have insight into both RSS and BJP intellectual grouping, so is there any effort being spent on that to increase the capacities of institutions like that to counter because as you said, AI is going to be the future. It's a garbage in, garbage out. So many people write so many things, and when AI exists, it reads all of them, right? To counter that, what is that institution like you going to do? Thank you.
Purely speaking in political terms, if I respond to you in political terms, in India, nobody reads New York Times. Nobody reads Washington Post. So my votes are not affected by it, on a lighter note. So, firstly, we should not worry too much about what these people are saying for 2-3 reasons, I will tell you. Not that addressing those issues is not important. I'm not saying that. But we don't have to worry too much that New York Times writes something negative about us. Nothing is going to happen. Because people of India are seeing the leader is government every day. They don't need somebody sitting in Washington and New York to tell us what he is doing or not doing to you. You are every day experiencing it, right? And in India, we have our own Indian media talking about these things, presenting these things in different flavors and different shades. So, we need not very overly worry about it. What we should do, when Mahatma Gandhi used to go to Vardha Ashram, every year he used to spend at least a month in Vardha Ashram, the first ashram that he established in 1915. He used to go there every year for a month. When he was in the Vartha ashram, there used to be an interesting daily rule that the newspaper will be given only at 6 o'clock in the evening. Newspaper, it comes in the morning. But Gandhi's rule was, after you finish the day's useful work, if you are left with any time, then read the newspaper. So New York Times and all, just read like that. Don't worry too much about them. Having said it, these papers have a particular mindset. The mindset is that we have to be always anti-establishment. That's the mindset. Media is there to oppose the establishment. There is a leftist streak in media which believes in it. Because anyway, left is not going to come to power. So either Democrats come to power or Republicans come to power, your only job is to attack them. And if you see these papers, what they write about the governments in their countries, you will be shaken up. They write equally nastily about their governments there. So there is an element in these media houses which believes that we are there only to attack governments. They keep writing all sorts of things. Not necessarily they are all sacrosanct with facts and all, many times. So one is their character, we have to understand. There is a section, not all of them are there. So what we should do is to feed right information to them. That is what people like us do. When we go there, we meet with Wall Street Journal columnist, even Washington Post columnist. We try to tell them the right things about the country. We give our perspective for them to understand. There are many people there who want to know the reality, because after all, not everybody can come to India and understand it. They also have to depend on certain sources. And their correspondent sitting in Delhi is an important source for them. But if you can give an alternate perspective, they're open to take it. That is what the names that we have taken up, the think tanks or individuals like us, we always continuously keep doing that. We have to continue to do that with one important fact, keeping in mind one important fact, that there are, first of all, the impact of these people on Indian public opinion is minimal. There is an impact on innocent opinion elsewhere, in America, elsewhere, or they are globally known, so it happens there. There we have to try and give a proper perspective. That effort we are doing, our embassies do everywhere. Here in Singapore also, elsewhere also, our embassies constantly engage with these houses, give them proper information, proper feedback. The result today is a paper like, a weekly like Economist, which used to write similar negative stories in the past, is today singing peons of Indian economy. Have you seen last week's Economist story? That Indian economy is booming, it's going to go places. Only thing is, we had that one rider in the end. Whether India will become, whether Modi will become Lee Kuan Yew or Erdogan. That is their style. Telugulo undi kada, kinda badda cheyi paina undalani. Yes, I have to admit that all my predictions were wrong. Yet I have to just make a snide remark. So, last line was, India is growing, but its growth will be like Singapore or Turkey. What is any relevance to it? So, that part we ignore, but understand that they are also changing. And they are queuing up for Modiji's interviews. All want Modiji's interview, because they know it tells. It has something substantive that he has to share. So, perception issue is there, which we are trying to address. Largely, we have been able to manage it, and especially it is a challenge for us in countries like America, or a few countries in Europe, England and elsewhere, but a larger issue in America. Let me, in the end, say one thing, one very real experience of all of us. In fact, this is what our friends in the US administration tell us, that whether it is Biden or it is Sullivan or it is Blinken, they know how important India is. So they know what is the reality in India also, how Indian democracy is very functional. irrespective of New York Times writing that India, there is a democracy deficit, decline in democratic, all that they write, but they know that no, it's not real, despite all this kind of perception creation in India. 14 out of the 30 states are ruled by opposition parties. If there is no democracy in India, if it's all authoritarianism, how is it that all important countries, out of 10 big capital cities, 10 big cities, only 2 are in BJP's hands. 8 big cities, you name them, Delhi is not in our hand. Lucknow hai, Kolkata nahi hai, Bhubaneswar nahi hai, Hyderabad nahi hai, Vijayawada, Visakhapatnam, Amaravati nahi hai, Chennai is not there, Bangalore is not there. Chalo Mumbai hai, Ahmedabad hai. So, there are opposition parties, so they understand, the leaders understand. You know who are the real problem? Guys from India who went and joined the administration there. It is they who create that negative perception. Because they are ideologically negatively motivated. They have no space left for them in India. So सब लोग जा रहे हैं Washington जाके वहाँ से कूद रहे. करने दीजिए. We will handle it. Perception challenge, we are aware of it. We are trying to address it to the best of our ability and best of our efforts.
So in India, whatever is possible you are doing, but out of India, what we can do in Singapore or other countries?
Enjoy karo. Now, we have to, that very important question about perception. One way of addressing this perception challenge that we encounter outside India, not so much in India, but outside India, is by activism of diaspora. Those who understand India's reality, in the way some of us understand it, you all have to become India's voices here. And especially, first of all, let me tell you, maybe here it's not a big issue, but it is going to become a big issue even for you, second generation Indians, your children, your grandchildren who were born here, who grew up here in this climate. They should know our country correctly. It's a big, big challenge for us in America, in Europe. The second generation, third generation Indians, our children, they don't understand. They are carried away by this New York Times and Washington Post propaganda. And they come and question you. And in the universities, this agitation happens, na, Ajadi wala, hamare bacche jate hai, our own kids go. So, first of all, keep our families, our children in regular contact with Indian reality. They should be always kept in regular contact with Indian reality, even though they are Singapore citizens. Singapore citizens, they should be good citizens of Singapore. But at the same time, the Matrubhumi, the motherland, should also be there in their hearts all the time. That's one effort we have to make. Then become active in the public life here. So can our children join Straits Times as a journalist here? Can our people get into media here? Can our people get into public offices here? Active in the political system. If you are citizens of this country, if you are just, what is it called here? PRs, then obviously it's different. You can't become any public activity, you can't get into. But those who have become citizens here should become active in public life. Do you know today, in our own lifetime, some of us are still alive in India who had seen the Europeans ruling over us. Those who lived under the British slavery are still alive in India today. They are seeing with their own eyes those countries ruled by Indians. Who is the Prime Minister of UK today? Who is the Vice President of America today? We are becoming active in the public life. That is another way to address these issues. So what we should do, थोड़ा दिल बहुत ज़्यादा इंडिया में मत रखिए, जहाँ है वहाँ भी रखिए. All the time thinking about India, Indian politics and bringing those politics here. From temple to association, everywhere Indian politics come here. Why should it be that way? There can be, there will always be politics in association. There can be local issues, na? Local system. Na? It need not be a Telugu Desam versus BJP here. But it happens that way here. So these issues need to be addressed by community here. Then the community diaspora becomes our strength. You know, Satyamurthy ji referred to that one event we organized here in 2015. I was originally involved in that activity from the party side. The first event we organized in Madison Square Garden in New York, a hugely successful program. Afterwards, we organized 8 to 10 events in all important capitals of the world wherever Prime Minister went. But at that time, our agenda was clear. You know, if Prime Minister does a rally here, he is not going to get any votes here in Singapore. It's not useful. Why we did it was, the community has to get united. That leader, Prime Minister, had that kind of a charisma, which could unite the community. That's the reason why you had about 20,000 people here. Not easy in a place like Singapore to bring 20,000 people together. Okay, if there is a temple event, maybe people come, and Swamiji comes, when people may come. But on a public platform for people to come is not easy. We try to bring that unity in the community, and community should stand up as the voice of Bharat. See what can be done in that direction. If you can help promote India's right image here in these countries, that will be a great, great help to our country and our government there.
Good evening, sir. This is Ajay Pimpihande from Maharashtra Mandal, but I am just asking question on behalf of myself only. So we are here for the launch of book, and I know like the book is launched in January 2024. So I just wanted to understand like what thoughts sparkled you to write this book, and when was the first thought come, I should be writing something so that like world is aware of what's happening in India, or like how India is going to get represented.
Okay, I have a weakness for writing. What can I do? You know, here, Satyamurthy ji said, no, every week I write. So, wait. So, I write, I mean, that is one passion I have. I feel that, you know, I am from Andhra Pradesh. So, in my childhood, I used to read lot of poetry, and also dabble in writing also a little bit. But I used to read a lot of poetry. I read one very interesting Telugu, a part of one Telugu poem. I will say that in Telugu, then I will translate it. It says, Akshara Rupam Dalchina Oke Okka Sirachukka Laksha Medallaku Kadalika. It was by a very famous Telugu author. What it meant was, one drop of ink, taking the shape of a few letters, has the power to transform a million minds. And it has huge lasting value. You write today, it may impact somebody 5 generations down the line, and it can go. You know, I was in Harvard 2 weeks ago. Some Harvard law school student came up and asked me, an American student, remember, he came up and asked me a very funny, interesting question. He asked me, sir, can we start an American RSS? First of all, I was surprised. How does this American fellow know about RSS? So I asked him, what's it? How do you know? He said, no, I regularly read your articles. I realize that RSS is the pillar of Indian culture. So we want, you know, we Americans don't have any culture today. We are all becoming woke. Our children are getting spoiled. So he was also young. He's a young fellow studying law. So I then realized that I'm sitting and writing in Indian Express, sitting here thinking that, okay, I'm probably catering to the political party or a movement in India, but it has the power to reach there. So that is what prompts me to write. I keep writing, and there are poor publishers who think they can make some money out of it. They are publishing them. That's how it happens. How do I write and all that, you don't ask. It's a trade secret. I can't share.
If you allow me, I'll just make one comment on the earlier question. I think what can we do here is, as you rightly said, there are some negatively motivated columnists even here. I think as Indians here or Indian race here, we can at least write to them rebutting all the negative propaganda they do in India. I think that's the simplest thing. I think one of us, something we should do. And just to my question, I am quite aware of your work in Northeast, especially politically able to translate into, make them come into the mainstream, and all the division was happening there. Because in the earlier times, even with Vivekananda Foundation, I was involved as well. So, but I think you did the magic when they came to the mainstream in terms of politics and in terms of votes. My question is, are you involved in similar work in other southern states, which is also needs the same amount of work? And if you are not, I would like to know why.
Why you should not ask me, so you should ask others. I'm not involved politically right now. I'm back in the Sangh, handling, Sangh's international, propaganda part of it. International image makeover or perception management part I'm taking care of. But before I get to that issue, I just want to say one thing, that about this criticism that we endure. We also have to develop one important element of humility. When you are in public life, when we are in public life, we will be subjected to scrutiny. There will be people criticizing us. Sometimes in our movement, what happens is, those who criticize us, nowadays we give a lot of certificates. We immediately brand them as traitors. No, those who disagree with you are not traitors. Either they did not understand you, or they have a different opinion. Fair enough, in public life there will be criticism. But when such criticism happens, as he rightly said, we should not keep quiet or keep abusing him. This fellow is an anti-national, a very easy certificate. We have a lot of them now, abundant certificates. किसी को भी चिपका देंगे, anti-national. Rather than cursing them, abusing them, what we should do is respond with facts. Tell them, you said this, but this is the reality. Or respond by writing another article. That needs to happen rather than isolating, targeting any person and every person who opposes us. On the transformation that has happened in Northeast, I can tell you it's an amazing transformation. But a lot of credit goes to Prime Minister also, because he could kindle that hope in the people of the Northeast that, here is a government which really cares for you. In Hindi there is that one word, durust. Delhi durust. The Northeasterner used to think Delhi durast. Delhi is good, but Delhi is very far off. That feeling of far off has been removed. That brought them very close to us. We have seen in 1 year 270 visits of central ministers in 1 year to Northeast. 270. Of course, total 40 ministers went to 8 states. There are 8 states in the Northeast. But together, so much attention has been paid to that region. That paid us dividends. And here, I would humbly submit one more thing. On a lighter note, today, those people BJP has as its leader, as chief ministers, majority of them came from other parties. And majority of them were from Congress originally. They came to BJP, they became chief ministers today, whether it is the chief minister of Manipur, or Assam, or Arunachal Pradesh, or deputy chief minister of Nagaland. These are all BJP people, but they all came from Congress. What does it also tell us? That this alienation was addressed by Congress even before we went there. Because if there is some guy with Congress, means he is with India, remember. This is the reality in Northeast, I am telling you. He is with BJP, he is with India. But even if he is with Congress, he is with India, remember. But before we went, Congress tried to do that. It had its own political successes, but it could not create that emotional feeling of oneness. Politically, it succeeded. It also fought against the secessionists. It also fought against the separatists before we went. We not only fought with them, we brought them over to the side of our country, India's side. Today, all of them are with us. Today, there is no insurgency there. So we could probably managed that sentiment better. That's the reason why they came over to us. I had such funny experiences. One day we went for campaigning in Nagaland elections. I told you this guy who came over to our side was a Congress guy. So Nagaland is a state with 97% Christians. So we went to a campaign with him. He gave a speech, very interesting speech. He told people, people say BJP is a Hindu party, No. Do you know what is the meaning of BJP? Bharatiya Jesus Party. He gave that name. And the logic he gave was, I so-and-so is the BJP leader here. I am a Christian, church-going Christian. BJP never asked me to stop going to church. Instead, BJP made me the leader of their party. As long as I am there, BJP is as much a Christian party as it is a Hindu party. That was his logic. It worked. And when we put up 20 candidates, we won 12 seats. Hit rate was 60% in Nagaland. So, basically what I'm trying to say was that we tried to cultivate different sections of the society, gave them the feeling of belongingness, and gave them that sense that Delhi is not dur. Delhi is close to you. It cares for you. It is your capital, your government. That has helped us, bringing about that kind of a great transformation in the Northeast. These are not issues in South India. South India ke problems alag hai. We have to sort them out differently.
Thank you, sir. Before proceeding to the next question, give me a second. This gentleman was telling about, going back to those media which was actually portraying India in a bad manner or in a negative manner, right? So we have a live example here. Our friend, he has done, I know one or two examples, okay, that he has changed something. So Mr. Sridhar Bharadwaj, okay, I would like to, with your permission, sir, I would like to ask him to share his experiences.
Hello all. One of the experiences was very long time back. I had this Indian political map which was not done properly. The POC and LOC was, it was shown differently, that Kashmir is not part of India kind of thing. So I had to write back to BBC on that, and they didn't respond to me back, but after a while I have seen that it's changed. The image has been changed. So that's one of the things that I tried from my end.
My name is Veereshwar Rao Ganti, popularly known as VR Ganti. I write a lot in public media. I am a Singapore citizen. I'm proud of it. At the same time, I am very proud of being overseas citizen of India. One thing Prime Minister Modi ji has done is, he made it so easy for all Indians to go back to India, visit India rather, by creating something called Overseas Citizen of India card. This card looks like a passport. And it's so easy. Last time we were paying a lot of money to get the visa stamped on our passports, whereas now we go frequently, we can go freely and for lifetime. So it's a wonderful thing BJP government under the leadership of Narendra Modi has done to Indians who are living outside of India. I have been a follower of BJP for a long time now. It's more than 15 years, 16 years. I've been following Ram Madhav ji also, who used to appear on that with Arnab Goswami. He used to call and talk. He was shouting. It used to be a wonderful thing. And 2014 they came to power. And he was one of the guys who used to appear on the TV and talk so much There are, of course, Smriti Irani and so many others also. And more interestingly, Ram Madhavji and I, we belong to the same town in Andhra Pradesh, Amalapuram. BJP has done a lot of things to the country, which most of you must be knowing it because there are so many WhatsApp messages which keep floating around and all of them keep saying what is the contribution of BJP and things on like that. Surely there is no doubt that BJP is going to come back to power. I am very, very confident about that. As many people say, whether are we now touching 400? That is the question, which is what I want to ask him. I want to know because whenever I speak with anybody, I tell them point blank, hey, 400 to ho gaya yaar. No, it's nothing to worry about it. Many people say that, Ganti, you are a very foolish man. Then I said, yes, if you look at only south, yes, Tamil Nadu, tough. That guy, or whatever the president.
I will give you one interesting response to that.
Yeah.
Wait. You know, chalo, finally, what will be the final tally will be known on 4th of June. But remember one thing very importantly. I mean, this has been my experience in the party. I have handled 15 elections in total. In 15 elections, my experience has been that elections are not an arithmetic, it's a chemistry. How that chemistry works, nobody knows. That chemistry can bring you 400 also. If you go by arithmetic, you can give each state how many seats BJP will win. Tamil Nadu, no, not more than 6, not more than 5, you may say. But if the chemistry works there, because it's not arithmetic, it is chemistry. So, Modi ji has great chemistry with people of India. So that gives that confidence that probably maximum number of seats will come, but I can definitely say much more than what it already had. And about 400 and all, I can tell you, 400 is needed for taking the country in the right direction. When country is going in the right direction, like farmers bill, government of India brought. Such a wonderful bill. It would have transformed India's agriculture sector forever. But we did not have 400 fellows to support it. We had to take it back. Some people are now propagating, 400 milega to constitution change kar de. No. It's not about that. It's about certain good decisions to be smoothly taken forward. For that, we need that kind of numbers in the house, which allow us to take the good things forward. I am very confident that we have already seen in Article 370 issue. Article 370 got 400 support. Nobody was opposing it. Those who were shouting actually left the house and went away. They did not oppose it on the house. Because they know if they are seen opposing it, rest of the country, jute khayenge. So that fear that if we oppose, people won't tolerate, people won't like, that kind of sentiment should prevail. That's what 400 plus means in the larger context. But yes, I am confident that BJP will win hands down, will get more seats than it had before, and rest depends on that chemistry. How much it works, we will see.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I understand what you are saying and I appreciate. But one point which I want to say is many people, not many, a few people keep telling that no, Modi ji is very autocratic. You know what I tell them? India requires a guided democracy. That is what Modi ji is doing. In fact, he explains so beautifully whatever in TV or even outside. I have heard him many times. His logic, his way of talking is such that anybody will fall for him. Thank you.
Last.
Okay. Thanks for giving me last opportunity. Okay, I have I mean, this is running for a couple of years in my mind, that when India is going to be ruled by Indians, typically, the historians, whatever they have whitewashed, right? They categorically whitewashed the Indian history in a way that somebody has invaded India, and we were never fighting back to them, right? And there was also a lot of debate happened during the constitution framework, right? India has a lot of debate. It took really, I think, 2.5 years to bring a constitution in place. I think these were all categorically, whenever I see all the debates, right, I was actually looking, people were not able to answer this because there was no study happen, and the study didn't happen because we don't have books related to that. So I was actually expecting something India Foundation can extract. And besides that, I also looking like, I mean, everybody takes, like, you are touching Ambedkar's constitution. Actually, it is India's constitution in the first place, right? And Ambedkar, besides Ambedkar, a lot of contribution happened, and also Ambedkar also gave his views which were overwritten during that time, right? Taking 370 as best example, there's a lot of words that have been mentioned in Indian Parliament also. And besides this, I think I have seen a lot of debates which has been suppressed or never been brought in light. So what I'm expecting, right, is like, are we actually addressing this NCERT books in the next, next coming rule? And also, when can we get those information that has been debated during constitution framework, like, and also been shared that inputs from your foundation side? Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Firstly, let me just clarify about Ambedkar's role in making of the drafting of the constitution. Lot of knowledge from WhatsApp University I'll get, but let me tell you, it's a humongous contribution, humongous. I give you one example. We sat here for an hour and a half, not even an hour and a half, 1 hour 50 minutes. How many ideas have come up here? If somebody were to compile them, organize them, then prepare, give them the shape of a proper law, it would have taken Ratnakumarji 10 days. Ambedkar, with the help of 7 members, in the drafting committee there were 7 members. He was expected to do that job. B.N. Rao gave the original draft. He was asked to go to different countries, consult jurists, which he did for 6 months. After doing that, he came up with a very raw draft. That draft Ambedkar first modified a little bit and placed it before the Constituent Assembly in 1947. Then it went into discussion for almost 120 days on different days. 120 days. You should read the proceeding. People would say anything and everything. Somebody would say that no, we have to bring back Raja. India should become a kingdom. Somebody will say that also in that. So all sorts of things used to be said. Out of the 7 members that Ambedkar had with him in the drafting committee, 2 died, 2 went abroad, 1 was sick, 2 were from South India, they would never come. The result was that the entire thing had to be done by Ambedkar with the help of B.N. Rao. 18 hours a day Ambedkar had worked. So what I'm trying to tell you is, let us not, his contribution. It was a yeoman contribution. It was a humongous contribution that he made to give shape to this constitution. Inputs came from everywhere. Those members, 290 members sitting in the Constituent Assembly, also gave their inputs. So everybody contributed enormously. But as you rightly said, what we lack in our movement is literature. We don't have enough literature. We are working on those things, but many other institutions are working today, and Government introduced NEP 2021. Under NEP, new education curriculum is going to begin from this year. 2024 onwards, India will have a new education curriculum as part of that NEP. For that curriculum, NCERT you mentioned, NCERT has now produced 130 or 140 new books, new textbooks. They may contain some of the things that you mentioned. I mean, how to present India's history as dark ages, or ages of imperialism, or ages of India's resistance. You know, it's another topic. I don't want to get into it because it's a long topic. The struggle of 800 years was a glorious struggle. Savarkar wrote a book called Six Golden Epochs of Indian History. What we actually call as Mughal era or era of imperialism, actually era of India's resistance. And it was golden epoch. If you read how much we fought back, how much we did not allow Aurangzeb to sleep one day in peace in the night. We did not allow him. आंख बंद करता था, शिवाजी आ जाता था. So that history we did not teach that way, as he rightly said. We taught as though they were the conquerors, they were the victors, and we were the vanquished, we are the enslaved people. No, we fought back. So those facts, that history which creates pride in our own history, pride in our own culture, pride in our own country, that's the kind of education that will be taught starting from this year. Government said that effort is happening. Where it is lacking is, let me be candid here. New education policy allows for all private universities, private institutions also to get into this kind of transformative educational activity. अब वहाँ जो बैठा है, he is a lazy fellow. For this to happen, he has to work hard. He has to prepare new curriculum. He has to prepare new teaching material. That were the things. And who do that? Just pay lip sympathy. Arey, what an education policy. Bhashan de do. But don't do the actual work. That is the challenge we are facing. So, we are telling our friends who are running institutions in India, schools, thousands of schools are run by private people. There are private universities, private, and even government, state government universities. See, after all, Modiji's government can get central institutions. NCERT, those who are accepting NCERT, they can give those textbooks. But state governments don't take NCERT textbooks. They have their own textbooks. Are they doing this hard work? Many are not doing. Where BJP governments are there, they are doing. Like Madhya Pradesh has already changed all its textbooks. If you go to Madhya Pradesh, see the textbooks, what you said, this is all being taught there. In fact, they have a big chapter on what is the significance, astrological significance of Ujjaini. You know, why the temple exists there. And that scientific lesson is there in their textbooks today. They changed it. But Andhra Pradesh doesn't change it. Telangana doesn't change it. So we have to prevail over the governments there. We have to talk to our education institutions there. Remember that freedom this new NEP gives, new education policy gives. If you want to change it, but change it for better. That hard work is not happening, but it will happen. Once, you know, remember, India is a big country. And India's symbol is what? Elephant, na? Elephants don't do about turns. Elephants go, if you want an elephant to turn around, it will take its time. Thoda dhire dhire ghumega. Thoda time lega, but India will change. Thank you.
One last question, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining us here. So I would like to know about your challenges in the Northeast India and like your role in the foreign policy regarding this China's One Belt and One Road initiative and BJP entry into the International Democratic Union.
I have no role, I have not done anything. Northeast challenges are not because of me. There are, you know, Northeast is a difficult region. There will be, like, you know, you are probably must be reading about Manipur situation. Unfortunate situation, but I must tell you, in 2016, 17, when we formed the government, similar situation existed. Huge fight between the people of the hills and people of the valley. And to the extent that for 6 months, all roads leading to valley, every road has to come from the hills. They were all blocked. So, you know, onions used to sell 400 rupees a kilo because they have to come from outside. They were blocked. So we faced similar situation, but we managed it. As soon as our government came, within 6 weeks, just 6 weeks, we got the embargo lifted. We established good rapport between the hills and the people of the valley. So 5 years it functioned well. 5 years we had no issues. It flared up again last year. Unfortunately, going on. So we need to probably after the election, there needs to be more focus on that to ensure that people of hills and valley again come back to normal relationship. There is no other way there. You can't do anything else. You can't create two states. Nothing is possible. They have to live together. But live together is the inspiration that we have to give to them. And other issues, wherever government, wherever we can help the government, there I keep working. Not very important. Government has been doing a lot of good work in all other areas. So that's why I'm saying, don't blame me for anything.
My name is Hari Vadlamani. I'm founder of Indic Academy, Indica. I just wanted to supplement one point Ram Madhav made, and the question my friend in the back asked regarding the textbooks. Generally, the focus is on history and the colonial aspects or the Mughal aspects of and how the textbooks have to be changed. But the reason I want to make this intervention is that we don't focus on what we call as Indian knowledge systems, Bharatiya knowledge systems. And what this government has done in the last 4 years, they've established a Center for Indian Knowledge Systems within the Ministry of Education, headed by Ganti Murthy. And Dharmesh Pradhan, the minister, and the entire center, the kind of effort that this government has made in injecting Indian knowledge systems within the universities, within the colleges, within the schools is something extraordinary. For 7 years, Indica is an institute for Indian knowledge systems. For 7 years, I was very disappointed with this government because they didn't do anything about Indian knowledge systems. But in the last 4 years, the kind of interventions that this government has done, I have not seen anything like this before. What I want everybody to recognize is that don't just focus on the history. History is fine. That is, there are two aspects to it. One is reconnecting ourselves with our identity. Okay? So therefore, we push back and all that. That's fine. That's just a one-time thing. What you need to think about is Indian knowledge systems is timeless. There are certain aspects of Indian knowledge systems which is timeless, which is relevant to the world today. That is the aspect that we need to focus on. And that this government has done extraordinary work. We at Indica, we look at the timelessness aspect of is in terms of health, in harmony, in happiness, which the entire world wants. So I just want to supplement this point to my friend that focus on the Indian knowledge systems aspect of it. And this is extraordinary efforts that this government has put. Yeah.
So as Hariji mentioned, Indian knowledge system, IKS, as a department is now opened in more than 100 universities in India. So in 100 universities, Indian knowledge systems as a department is being now established. There many aspects are being taught. But having said it, a lot of great work is happening in that. That is of course an important thing. But I must also acknowledge that people like Hari Kiranji have done yeoman service in that direction. His Indica or his Advaita Academy has created so much of available literature for all of us on the Indian knowledge systems, their greatness, easily available to people like us. So people like him also have done lot of good work with or without government. As he said, he was not happy with the government, but he did it, no? He did not sit at home. He created an institution, he is an institution by himself. Like that, there should be a lot of effort happening from those well-wishers like you all also. We also individually should also try to do something, but government is trying to do its bit in the right direction. Chaliye, thank you so much. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the wonderful session. Okay, we are coming to an end, but before that, we would like to felicitate our chief guest and our distinguished guest. I would like to invite Ratnakumar ji. Big round of applause, please. Again, thank you. I would like to call upon our beloved friend, pillar of Sri Samskruthika Kalasaradhi, Dr. Sudhakar Jonnadula, to felicitate Satyamurthy ji. Thank you, sir. Please be seated. We have come to an end of this program, and I would like to invite Ratnakumar ji to say his vote of thanks to everybody.
Namaste and good evening, everyone. On behalf of Sri Samskruthika Kalasaradhi Singapore, I would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to Sri Ram Madhav ji for gracing us with his presence and enlightening us with his insights into his latest literary endeavor, The Indian Reality, Changing Narratives, Shifting Perceptions. Ram Madhav ji's discussions today has been nothing short to illuminating. His meticulous examination of historical context, evolving narratives, and shifting perceptions has provided us with a deeper understanding of India's past, present, and future. We are immensely grateful to Mr. Madhav for his generously in sharing his time, expertise, and invaluable insights with us today. And we also would like to thank Sri Vamara Satyamurthy ji, the guest of this occasion. He is a great inspiration to us, especially for me. He is my guru. And also, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Sri Atul ji. Without both Satyamurthy ji and Atul ji's help, this event wouldn't be happening. And finally, I would like to once again express my sincere gratitude to Ram Madhav ji for his illuminating discussion on the Indian reality, changing narratives, shifting perceptions. May his work continue to inspire us towards a deeper understanding of our nation and its multifaceted realities. And we also would like to thanks to GA staff, Prabhuram ji, Mamata ji, Dinesh ji, Azhar ji, and last but not least, our MC, Ramu ji. And also we have many volunteers. Nirmal, he's here. And our committee members, Ram Babu Garu and Sridhar Bharadwaj and Sudhakar Jonnadula. And also I would like to thank you, RK Videography, Kachiani Ganesha. And many thanks to all of you, because in Singapore, Saturday evening is very crucial, because the moment first of all, actually Ram Madhav ji told me about this event just 10 days ago. I was thinking, is it possible, because Saturday's evening is very crucial and everyone want to go to the temple or some other events and occasions. But today there are many events also happening. Despite of that, you all came forward and attended and make it as a grand successful event. And I want to thank everyone, and I hope your support will continue for all our events. Thank you once again.
Thank you, Ratnakumar ji.